So get this, Multiversus comes out, the beta is released. Everyone is absolutely going bonkers for this game. The craziest hype I've ever seen for a game. 22 million people had played this game at one point across all platforms, maybe even more than that, via the leaderboard rankings back in the day. Just for them to take it away at its peak, when it was starting to die because they weren't listening. They took it out of beta and brought it back. Everyone was so excited that this game was going to be the next Smash. Oh my god, this game's going to be the next Melee. This game's going to be the next XYZ, whatever you thought it was going to be. Everyone and their mother thought this was going to be it. This was going to be the best game ever. This is going to be by Warner Bros. Whoa, we got like a huge host behind the game. We have a good developer team who's communicative and they care. And then the re-release happened and everyone dipped out and the game never recovered. This is the story about Multiversus on its deathbed. I know not a lot of people watch my channel for Multiversus, but I felt that this was big enough to talk about. This is kind of insane news. So we're going to go through some tweets and we're going to talk about the inevitable death of one of my favorite games that I loved until I didn't. What was once a rumor is now reality. Multiversus will be dying soon, this year in 2025. Initially, we heard of this rumor on Twitter. Multiversus also released a statement. It has been an incredible ride. MVPs, thank you for all the support. For more details, please visit our blog post and FAQ. This picture reads, Season 5 will serve as the final update for Multiversus, beginning February 4th of 2025, and it will end in May on the 30th of this year. After the season ends, players will be able to enjoy the game offline for the foreseeable future. So thank you for support throughout this journey. So none of us really saw this happening, really. I mean, there is a lot of things at play as to why this would happen now. But as a player who has been around for quite a long time and was in all the alphas, and I was in the betas before release of the actual beta, the game felt insane, but also in a negative way. The reason why this game was failing is actually a lot of factors into one. It's a multitude issue. It's not just one thing that made the game die in such a way that we might not even know every single aspect of how it died or why it's dying now. But I can tell you a few reasons as somebody who was there from the very beginning and now until its death and how it changed over time. Essentially, all you needed to know was that the game was completely different when they first made it to now. Season 5 being the final update makes sense solely because of the fact that I did not believe in this game after they re-released it. A lot of us actually hated the game. Anybody who was a beta player and alpha player hated this game after it came back out from release. In my mind, it was also because of how fast it was. A lot of casuals did not like it, but also how many bugs and glitches were just there and were never really fixed. There's still some glitches even in the current game that were never fixed. Them switching also over to listening to pro players was also a bizarre choice because in recency and in history, pro players don't really know what they're talking about. Now, this is not to say that all pro players are not smart in that area. In fact, a lot of them are probably helpful, like Nakat, Evo winner. Having big brains behind the game makes sense, and I trust Nakat's vision, though I will say that there are a lot of things that were changed and maintained and done that I don't agree with. Right now, we're talking about this being the final update, but it's not all bad news because there's potentially going to be some level of immortality with this game. The fans of Multiversus are very loud, depending on what crowd you look at, but also they're very passionate. The fact is, they do care about this game, and everybody knows that the game has changed in a way that it tried to appeal more to casuals, but you're alienating the competitive crowd on top of making it not fun for casuals. This post from Save Multiversus apparently has a mod for the beta of Beta Multiversus that will release characters and more, and it will be a mod called MVS Infinite, which plans to add new characters. Something like this getting into the hands of the community is always a good thing because as we've seen with Melee and how Slippy works, we see the dedication behind the fans and how they can actually do things better, but it is a lot of things going on at once. Though this is the death of Multiversus, you'll probably be only able to play it on like PC or something. The thing is, you have to have the game in order for it to be even ran after it shuts down, which I think is kind of makes sense, but it's also stupid because that means the game's going to be a lost commodity at some point unless a community comes behind it like this is. Going out to HungryBox's tweet, HungryBox did say is a non-Smash platform fighter with 150,000 concurrent players, which is insane, by the way. We had like 22 million at peak in total, like not online at the same time, but 22 million people logged on. That went offline for only a year. They made the monetization terrible, so poorly received by the community that Riot Games themselves canceled their platform fighter, which, yes, I'm actually really mad about this because it could have worked. It's just that Warner Brothers is stupid. There was so much potential for this game, and it brought together all types of communities. Even the fighting game community wanted to be a part of this because they loved the characters, and I honestly was shocked that we were getting so many different players from so many different avenues that it would just die because they took the game away for like a year and a half. Ristermice, LG, Luminosity, absolutely zero desire to grind through their half-baked single-player mode to unlock every character. That's another problem, man. Like, they just shot themselves in the foot. Everything was really, it sucked. I did not like it. Mirror Man, also a really good player. Never played a game that hurt to play as much as Multiversus full launch. I agree. Terrible decision on their end to do this. It's like they looked at the Multiversus beta and went, what if we removed every single thing that makes platform fighters fun and then made everything 3 times expensive? And I agree. The perk system also sucked. The perks did not work in the beta or alpha, and on release they did not work. They actually got rid of some of them because it didn't work too good, and some of them worked too well, and it was just stupid. It was just bad. Like the engine, everything in between, it just made everything so slow, so methodical. If you thought Multiversus was too fast and boring before, it became so slow that it was way more boring than getting blitzed at 1,000 speed. Something I wanted to pivot to was the fact that Tony, the official co-founder and director of the game, he made a very long-winded tweet. I go through it, but it's pretty long if you can see it. He pretty much talks about he's sad about it and he's sorry for not addressing stuff. He used to be very vocal in talking to us, but the problem became that like anything he said would get misconstrued automatically. Like anytime he said anything, people would like jump on that, or they would completely like jump him in the comments like they're doing right now. One thing I want to say is nobody should ever get threatened. I've been on the back end of like that crappy Panda stuff that happened where we were scared of getting doxxed, and all I can say to you guys is do not do that. Don't go into this mass hysteria trying to make everybody to blame. He's sorry that you guys don't have your favorite character in the game because I guess they're ending on Aquaman and Lola Bunny, but people took this tweet talking about how Banana Guard was made over time very quickly, and people took that as, oh my god, character is so broken, stupid, and like he was busted because they took a weekend to make him. You have Ajax talking about and showing pictures of the crew, this game, this team, the community mean the world to me, and I hope you all enjoy the 50-ish pages worth of patch notes for all the gameplay improvements. The thing is about this, it is sad and all that, but it's too little too late, man. Everything they've done, I get it. You want to be able to roll with the punches, but adding shielding and like alienating the game is not how you fix stuff. I guess we'll read the patch notes when it comes out. And the funny quote from Walter White from Multiversus was that he lost. Walter White will never be in Multiversus. Actually, maybe potentially in the future when the mod comes out, that might be a reality. But I just want to take this time to talk about what happened. When the beta first came out, it was amazing. And that was something that I thought was going to be the next big game, right? Everybody's talking about, oh, Smash Killer, Smash Killer. There's never been a Smash Killer. It's never going to happen. It created this genre. Everything else is alongside it, like Rivals of Aethers and everything else, it has their own communities, but they're not as big as Smash. And that's pretty much always going to be a constant unless Smash does something really heinous like Smash 4 or make another Brawl where it's just casual. If you focus on both aspects like Ultimate has, you will live. But if you don't, like Multiversus did, you take away the fun and creativity of everything and you make it all bland and boring, it's gonna die. Something that we learned from watching how Multiversus has gone is just really how you can take such a fast game and make it slow to the point where everyone and their mother knows how slow it is. You put somebody on the game now and you're going to be like, wow, I can literally only do like 2 combos from air dodge now. I can't wave dash, and you can't really do anything that you could do before. Like, okay, they add shielding. Okay, what then? Everything becomes an out of shield game. The whole beauty of Multiversus in the beginning was the fact that there was no shielding. You had air dodging, and you had to get really good at air dodging because you only had 2 of them, and you had 2 jumps. But the thing was, if you messed up and didn't have any of those, and only had specials left, okay, you can use those. But if you don't mix up your gonna die. The whole entire thing of Multiversus was just how fast it was, how insane it was. There had never been a platform fighter that focused solely on doubles, and that was like the main thing. Everybody played double. But listening to the solo 1v1 players complaining about these different things that, yes, some of them need to be fixed, like Harley Quinn's Infinite, there was too many things going on to just gut characters. Some characters went from S tier to just complete garbage, C tier, B tier, like just out of nowhere because of the nerfs. Even after nerfs, they would find something new to break. I don't really think that the people on the team did their testing properly if this was constantly a problem, right? A few problems I've seen with this game, not only just the monetization issues, the progression issues were a huge issue, the single player sucked, and also the online back in the day up to now was trash. They barely fixed that not that long ago and they brought it back. But the problem with rollback is it's a myriad of problems with rollback, because obviously like Melee got it right with Slippy, but it's still not perfect, and it's never going to be perfect because rollback is kind of just like a buffer between windows of who actually hit who on certain connection, right? So there's always going to be problems, but it was never as bad as when it first came out. Multiversus had this beauty to it. You could play doubles and feel like, oh my god, I'm doing so much. You could play doubles in stock tank. There's so many strategies you could have that you could not have in Smash Ultimate or any other thing like that. The difference with Smash and like all these other games is that they actually came out with ideas and changes that made the games better. Falco and Sonic did not work in the very first iterations of Ultimate, and they were actually considered terrible because of that, and people were complaining endlessly about that, but it was remedied at some point, and now there's less complaints than I've ever heard about Smash Ultimate in my life. People don't complain about that game outside of the online. There is too many problems to really talk about with this game, but the fact is that it's going to die, and it's going to die soon. The takeaway from all of this, every post that I've talked about and shown, that if you don't listen to your community, you are going to die. You're not going to make it out here. And you're going to become a lost media at some point, unless they turn it into Melee and they start modding it and making it a good game, in which case I bet you Warner Brothers is going to come in and take away the reins. Once again, it was a good game until it wasn't. And it was fun until it wasn't. The major takeaway from this is if you like a game, play it. If you don't like it, don't. Vote with your wallet, you know? Your wallet is the reason why a lot of games can continue to exist. If you really like a game, don't give a shit about what other people say about, oh my god, you spent $50 in this game. Yeah, because you wanted the game to succeed. And if it doesn't succeed like Multiversus did, some of us who have the founder packs, it feels bad. But you know what? I can say that I gave it my all and I tried as much as I could. I got a lot of the skins. I thought it was really cool and I spent a lot of money on this game. But I also spent a lot of money on League of Legends back in the day, and I still have that account, and I still have all the beautiful things that I got back then, and I don't have to feel like I'm losing it forever, you know? It is a shame that we're not going to see Multiversus come back. Maybe we will. Maybe some other third-party host will come pick it up somehow, or maybe they'll buy it off Warner Brothers. But I guess this is the end chapter to a long, confusing game known as Multiversus, filled with such potential but could never reach the stardom that it really could have. It's kind of a cautionary tale about what happens when you don't listen. If you guys like this done darn video, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and maybe we'll talk about this game in the future. But as of now, it looks like it's going to die, and I've never seen a confusing game's lifespan end in such a weird, tragic way in my life. If you like Smash Brothers stuff, we'll see you back in the future with that. Maybe some more Nasby things. Platform fighters are here to stay, but not all of them, it seems. Keep on doing it up. I'll see you in the next video, soldier. Goodbye. Ooh, we ride.